So, having noted how much the long neck banjo with his nylon strings and calf skin head sounded like an acoustic guitar, like a Spanish acoustic guitar, I went on to make this, which is a nylon strung acoustic guitar banjo, 6-string banjo guitar. I followed the same recipe more or less. It's got a calf skin, it's tack head. This time I did a slightly different shape so it would sit on my knee a bit more comfortably. The other one I noticed was a little bit slidey away. It had a tendency to want to wander, to slide waft. So I created a contour in the bottom side of the body so that it would stay upon my knee more willingly. And originally I had ordinary nylon strings, but I experimented. In fact, I'd always built this to experiment with. I've used all mono core or monofilament nylon strings. Normally these bottom three have a multi-filament core of nylon. They have metal windings on the outside, and they do that so that the string needn't be quite so thick, and therefore if it's a thinner string it'll ring for longer and sound brighter. But if one is to adapt an acoustic guitar for these monofilament nylon fishing line strings instead, then you get quite a bassy, quite a slappy, quite a jazzy tone. You forfeit the sustain for a little bit of punch, and you lose quite a lot of the brightness. But for that sort of that sort of a thing, it's not in tune, and it keeps slipping because these are really cheap. Can you see that? It's got a big crack in it, both sides, and it just swivels round and round. So I can no longer tune this. But I've got some metal headed shafts where it's all moulded in one ore. So if I replace those, then this should be able to tune up to concert pitch again, and be a lot more playable. So, buoyed up by the success of my nylon strung, calf skin, tack headed, 6-string banjo, I went on to make my twin goat skin banjos, of which I've made a previous video already, but absolutely delighted with them. The 5-string does sound rather guitar-y. It's a combination of reasons, but I quite like the tone of it, and because you play it like a banjo and the style is banjo-y, it pretty much sounds banjo-y. It only sounds guitar-y when you're playing more ballady or folky stuff, because of the sustain that it achieves compared to a normal banjo. I think that's one of the biggest differences, but it's still a work in progress. The guitar also sounds like a guitar. Oh, it's good and loud. It punches well above its weight. I mean, if you consider that the body really is only a third of a normal acoustic guitar, it's at least 2/3 of the volume of a standard acoustic, maybe more. It's surprising. If half of it wasn't lost into my belly, or put another way, if it had a resonator, what they call a resonator on a banjo, which is merely a back to reflect the sound from inside forward, it would be louder still. But it's plenty loud enough. Banjos do tend to be plenty loud enough. It's plenty loud enough for a guitar, and for having such close neighbours. But I'm delighted with them, and they're probably the finest instruments that I've made to date.